Hello everyone, Chocolate Roberto here for another video review. This time we have the Cadbury's Dairy Milk out of the blueberry. Yeah, so it's the third of, well, it's one of the three sort of vote to keep me Dairy Milk limited, well I say limited edition, well limited edition yearly special editions that they do where the public basically have the opportunity to go to Cadbury's website and create their own bars, and somehow or other Cadbury's pick 3 of them and they do like a sort of competition for people, the public, the general public as a whole, to vote for which one they prefer the most on the website. So this is the third one. So there's been cocoa nutty, what's it one? Crunchy honeycomb, and and out of the blueberry as well. So yeah, so basically last year it was won by one cocoa latte, I think it was called, or chocolate latte. No, chocolate latte I think it was, a coffee flavoured dairy milk. Now I don't know what happened really, because I got the impression it was going to then be available forever basically, but I've rarely seen it after then. It's still on Cadbury's website. You can still buy it in some places like on Amazon, but generally in supermarkets I've just not seen it. So it might still exist, as I say. I think I did see it a few months ago, but I think it was with the other ones as well. I can't quite remember. I don't know if it's just like some leftover stock that's just not sold yet or whatever. So I don't know. So I'm not sure if it is available forever or not, and just what's going to happen with these. Maybe if they're popular enough they will be. Who knows? This one I'm most excited for actually. Yeah, so quite looking forward to this one. Yes, this one's designed by a lady called Taylor from Leeds, who's 24, it says on the website. It doesn't give any last names or anything like that. So all three of them are designed by ladies this year. I think last year was a guy and two ladies, I think. So all three of them are ladies this time. Basically, yeah, there's no real scientific reason why she created this one other than the sun loves blueberries, apparently. So, so there you go. So that's what it's about. So I'm interested in this one. I'm most excited for this one over all of them because I think I've had blueberries in chocolate before. Carl Faser's blueberry crisp one was really nice. I think it was yeah, and you know, it just works really nice from what I taste. And this is unusual for Cadbury's. You don't get many of this kind of thing in there. So what does it actually say? Milk chocolate with blueberry flavoured nuggets and white chocolate crisp pearls. The white chocolate crisp pearls I think will be almost something or nothing really. Having tasted them in one of the others. And they are essentially just those white chocolate crisp covered Rice Krispie ball things you get in like mulli yogurts and things. They add a bit of a crunch and that's it. But I think they might work better in this one, just adding that crunch. I don't think you can get any white chocolate taste at all. That's my prediction. Also, you can see Taylor's signature there. You could definitely, glad I looked up to see what she was called, because you could definitely not. I have no clue what that says at all. But fair enough, my signature's the same, so there we go. I don't mean literally the same. Okay, so yes, what's it say on the back then? So the official description: milk chocolate with blueberry flavoured pieces 8%, and white chocolate coated cereal balls 6%. So it's not much, so 8% and 6%, so 14% total of the other bits in there. But to be honest with you, that's probably enough. I can feel the knobbles underneath. It's very knobbly. So it's an 8x3 bar. That's 105 grams. There's 26.25 is 6 chunks, grams that is. So if calories in each 6 chunks, it's 136 calories, 7.2 grams of fat, 4.2 which are saturates. So this one has about 3 less calories than the other two. The other two have the same amount of calories per 6 chunks, for the bar presumably. Yeah, interestingly, this one's got yeah, well, okay, I won't go. Yeah, all right, I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, 136 calories, and the other two are 139 per 6 chunks. This one's got 7.2 grams of fat, the other ones have 7.8. But interestingly, this one's got more saturated fat, 4.2 grams of saturated fat, whereas the others have 4. So interesting. Could be from the blueberries, who knows. Yes, yeah, so have you also tried crunchy honeycomb and coconutty? And it says only one bar will remain. Support your favourites at cadburyinventor.com. So this is for vegetarians. Yep. So usual stuff. That's quite nice. I'd say it's got flourishes. I think it's by 18.6, if I recall correctly from the other two bars. Yeah, pretty much 18.6, and it's 15.2 when you're actually in it. So it loses 3.4 centimeters. So yeah, memorise it now. Okay, so I'm very excited about this one. I'll say I've put a playlist of all my other reviews. I've done about 600 reviews now, so if you like this one, obviously feel free to check all my others out. So I think all 600 videos, most of them reviews, and I'll also put a playlist of the other Cadbury Inventor chocolates as well that I've reviewed as well. I think I've reviewed all of them, so yeah, so feel free to check them out as well. They'll always do, the link will be in this top left, or top left as I look at it, but top right as you look at it, I guess. It'll be up there. Yeah, and it'll disappear, but if you hover over it or whatever, you'll be able to find the eye symbol. So yeah, and it'll pop up every now and again as a new playlist is announced. So okay, where was I? Add in the link. Right, let's give this an open now. Excited for this one. My money is so far from just looking at them, you know, from basically just looking at them, you know, when I had 3 of them in my hands, you know. This one was the one I thought was going to win. I don't know why, it's one that gets my backing. It's most exciting, I don't know. The other, yeah, but we'll see, you never know. Some of them people might just think, oh, you know, honeycomb, I like honeycomb, click. But I don't know. I have a good feeling about this one. But I was wrong last year, I think, anyway, so I think the one that won last year was my least favourite of the 3, so what do I know? Okay, let's give it an open. Right, so everyone, okay, so we're going to give this an open then. Hopefully I'm censored in the screen, fingers crossed. It's hard for me to tell, but hopefully I am. Yes, let's give this an open then. So it's 18, we said 18.6, didn't we? The width of the... But I've got some flourishes on, you see. Yeah, 18.6. Should go down to 15.2. So we've got a flow wrapper opening, which is good. There we go. Oh yes. I'll just give you a quick measure just before I get into it, before I forget. Yeah, 15.2, yeah, just about, yeah, 15.2. And the width, so it's lost 3.4 centimetres there, which is, you know, pretty poor really, but it's definitely better than some I've seen. 7.5 in width. Otherwise, it'll be a centimetre from the highest points to the lowest point. Yeah. And from the lowest point, the trough in between the segments, it's about 0.6 centimetres. Yeah. Well, look at that, you can see all those Rice Krispie ball things there sticking out. Yeah, some of the others did have Rice Krispie balls in, but they didn't stick out like that, so, interesting. I don't know why the other things got in the way, and you know, but they can clearly see they're all in there. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, it's a 3x8 bar. You can see all the sort of Cadbury square segments, or relatively square anyway. The regular Cadbury Dairy Milk bar now, as in the UK at least, has it's like a very sort of sphere-like bubble segment, you know. Which is actually criticised for actually weighing in less because of the way they've got like the sort of smooth corners, I guess, rounded corners, actually had less chocolate in them than when they were like this in the bar, or when they were sort of more, maybe a bit wider, but you know, when they were sort of like rectangular type segments. So yeah, so it's, you know, it's nice that they're this segmented bar. I don't know why Cadbury's have gone for the sort of bubbly bar in the smaller version, and they still keep the sort of square segments here. No idea. You think they'd keep it the same, but. Okay, so it's yeah, some holes in it actually. You can see some sort of in the central segments. I think you can see some holes. Hard for me to show you, but there's some holes there, and there's one hole in another section. So I don't know what's happened there. And there's 2 central pieces. Yeah, you can see them. Just a couple of minor holes. Don't know what that's about. Okay, so it's, so your 6 segments. This is your 136 calories, 72 grams of fats, 4.2 which are saturates. There we go. So I'm not seeing. Okay, I've got a blueberry piece there. See, we've got some blueberry there. But nothing else I can see. Let's go snap along the other way. There we go. So the blueberry seems to be very few and far between the blueberry pieces, at least from the snappaging. Snappage. Yeah, look at that, I've cut that one clean in half and there's nothing there. The alarm bells are ringing, let's say. The alarm bells are ringing. So, yeah, a bit of blueberry there. But, I mean, the other ones were crammed full of stuff. I don't know. I think when Taylor created this one, just created 2 flavours with it. I don't know, I always thought you had to put at least 3 in, or it made you put 3 in. But this one only has 2. The crunchy balls and the blueberry pieces. So, but yeah, so I'm cutting this one and there's no... I can't even really see blueberry in this one. No, there's a bit there. Lots of holes in it as well. I can see that there's holes in there. There's all dots. Holes in this bar for some reason. I don't know, I can see them in the segments. And the breakage bit there. Don't know what's happened there. I don't know if there's some air has escaped from the blueberry pieces or something. Yeah, chopped in half. There's a bit of a blueberry piece there. You can see it's chopped in half. That sort of bit looks a bit white. Okay, well, sceptical as to the amount of blueberry is going to be in this, but there is some in there. But there's not much. Okay, each segment's got about 3. I can see that's got like 3 Rice Krispie pieces, but this one's got 1, at least in the bottom bit. Okay, yeah, did we say the stuff goes all the way to the top? We have dissected a few. Don't think there's much in the top of the segments either, really, is there? You know, when I've cut it, it all seems to have gone to the bottom. Some of the blueberry bits are in the top part of the section, I guess. But not much. So this one's not very crammed, really. Yeah, we'll see. Let's give it a taste of it. I think we need to taste this one. We need to taste them all, of course, but yeah. But I think, yeah, there's some questions that need to be answered, so let's get into it. Right, okay, everyone, so I'm going to review this Out of the Blueberry. This Cadbury's Dairy Milk. Create your own, what do you say, fan-made, I don't know, public-made bar. That's basically fan creation. There you go, fan creation. That's sounds better, doesn't it? Okay, so it's well, I've got this whole segment here. So let's give this whole segment. It's got looks to have a couple of Rice Krispie balls in there, and yeah. So basically, it's white chocolate covered Rice Krispie balls with some blueberry pieces. Blueberry flavoured pieces. Okay, so it's not actually blueberry. So, alright, let's give it a taste then. Let's do it. A bit worried about the fact of how much blueberry will be in here. So we'll see. Definitely the blueberry flavour, actually. I was thinking there won't be much of a blueberry flavour, but it's definitely there. Now the blueberry doesn't really have much of a texture. You can't really, there's no chew or bite or anything there as far as I can tell with the blueberry pieces. That's just bits off. With blueberry, and you can't taste the texture of it at all. It's just, you know, you only get the taste. You don't get any sort of chew or anything. There's the occasional crunch of the white chocolate crispy balls. I wish there was more of them. Basically, I wish you'd kind of, what Cadbury haven't done here, which you should have done, is put more of those in. I think that was the intention, really, probably from Taylor when she created this. She only put 2 ingredients in there. And I think the idea was, obviously, right, if you didn't have a third one in there, the other 2 would make up for it. And I don't think Cadbury have done that very well in this one. Yeah, it needs more crisp in there. Yeah, so it's clear. Crispy ball there. So, I don't get any white chocolate flavour at all from it, even when I've just tasted one individually. You know, I mean, clearly there'll be a very minuscule amount of white chocolate there to taste, so there is something, but I can't, you know, especially covered in the dairy milk and the blueberry chocolate, you're really just getting the consistency of that crunch. But there's not many of them in there. I'm barely getting a crunch, you know, maybe 1 crunch per segment. It needs to be more jam-packed with them. I know it looks a lot at the bottom, but it needs to be more than that. It needs to be really peppered with them all over it. Yeah. Because I'm really just getting a blueberry flavoured dairy milk with the occasional crunch, and it just makes you feel like the blue balls, the blue balls, the white chocolate balls are just an afterthought, you know. Don't feel like they're in sync with the rest of the bar. Well, you know, it's I think the problem with the blueberry part as well is that the dairy milk is quite a strong chocolate flavour, and it does overpower it slightly. But it's definitely there, and it's definitely a novel taste. But I like it. I do like it. I'll say you're not got any worry about if you don't like fruit, like chewy pieces in your chocolate. If you don't like fruity bits, there's no chew at all. So all you can taste is the flavour of blueberry. The pieces themselves may as well not be there, because when you have them, you can't really, you know, just bit one just specifically off. You can't differentiate between that and the regular chocolate, because it just sort of, it's just like it just melts straight away. You know, there's nothing to it. A mixed bag, this one. I feel like the blueberry pieces and the blueberry taste is really good. It's quite subtle. It's not a massively strong taste, but it's nice. It's it really works for me. But the problem with it is there's no substance to the blueberry pieces. There needs to be more of them anyway. I think there needs to be more of them anyway. I mean, of course, you know, how that would affect the flavour of the chocolate. I can only think in a good way, actually, adding more blueberry taste. I think I think visually it needs to be more blueberry pieces in there. I think the white chocolate balls, aren't doing much for it at all. There's not enough of them to provide a good crunch. There needs to be more of them as well, really. So it needs to, I think the sort of the tool creator thing for this website that allowed you to build your own bars allowed you to make, I think, 3 ingredients, maybe 4. I think 3 really. And I think rather than make up for the missing ingredient by adding more of the other 2, Cadbury haven't done that for whatever reason, and it seems almost criminal to have done that, because clearly when Taylor created this, she didn't put in a 3rd ingredient because she wanted more of the other 2 and was actually thinking about it, because you could have just thrown in another ingredient and be very young. Well, what else should I put in? I don't know, dark chocolate or something like that. Just thrown in another ingredient and didn't really want it in there. She clearly had an idea that she wanted blueberry and white chocolate. That was clearly what she was after, and obviously dairy milk. So even though there's not a 3rd ingredient in there, it clearly tells me that this person had a specific design in mind. But Cadbury's haven't facilitated that by obviously making up for the fact that there isn't a 3rd ingredient, but adding more of the other 2. They don't seem to have done that, and I think that's really hampered the bar. Because I think it would have been really pretty much spot on, I think, if they just had more of those white chocolate balls in there and more blueberry to make it look visually like there's more blueberry in there, even though the taste may or may not be any different. You would have thought it had more of an intense blueberry taste, which I think would work as well, because it is quite subtle. Even though it's there, it's quite nice. I'll say there's just not enough crunch. The blueberry pieces feel just like an afterthought. You get one a chunk or something, or they're not really. Even if you get a couple of chunks, they're not really that strong. You need more of them, to have that proper crunch. So unfortunately, I think they've missed the mark this one as well. I think it's nice though. I like it. I think it's probably my favourite of the 3 of them. But I think I think all 3 of them. Obviously, I apologise if you've not watched the other 2 reviews, but I kind of feel like all 3 of them have missed the mark. Really, they're all just not quite right for probably different reasons. Really, and this one. Obviously, I'll go into the reasons in the individual reviews, but this one here it's probably the best one in concept and probably in practice, but it should be better. They've just not implemented it well enough. They've not thought into it. Cadbury's have, they've literally had they've basically what they're doing. By the looks of it, for me, they've got cups of ingredients. So we've got like a cup of white chocolate balls here. We've got a cup of, however big these cups are, we don't know. Probably quite small. Cup of chopped hazelnuts, and they've basically, rather than just tailored or customised the size and quantity and whatever of these cups, they've just said, right, you've picked white chocolate with blueberry pieces. This is the white chocolate we've got of the blueberry, the crispy ball things. This is the blueberry pieces we've got. Dip them in. You didn't pick a 3rd flavour, so you've got less in it. We're not going to change the size of these cups, or the quantities in them, and that's it. And that's what they've done, And they've just not thought about it. And I looked on the website. It says, like Taylor and the other 2 travelled to Cadbury Bourneville, and they went into a taste testing room where they with some people, and they decided what they were going to do, well, if they did a terrible job, because they've just clearly not considered or even thought about the ratios involved in here, or making up for the fact that this one only has 2 ingredients. They've not done it at all. Having looked at the other 2, which were crammed full of pieces. Obviously so you've got like this one, which is the honeycomb one. It's got like, I think it's got chocolate. Yeah, it's got fudge pieces. It doesn't have white chocolate, so you can clearly see it's very full, that one. Whereas this one here, just isn't. This is the one we just reviewed. And then obviously the other one, which does have white chocolate balls in as well, which is this one here. This is a cocoa nutty one. So it's basically got the same amount of white chocolate balls in, really. It's just, it just doesn't seem... and other stuff in it as well, so you can clearly see all the different ingredients in there. It's a lot more crunchy, a lot more, because there's biscuit crunch in there as well. It's just a lot more crunchy. What did that one have in it? It had 2 ingredients as well, did it? Because it's got 2 different biscuit crunches in there, though. There's a lot more crunch in it, and this one needed more crunch, so. Yeah, I don't know. Very, just a shame, really. I think it's just. I think this one would have been better. It just had more crunch in it, or maybe even a different secondary ingredient might have helped it. I'm not sure really, but the blueberry chocolate pie is a success. It just needed to be a bit stronger, I think. Yeah, so I can't remember if I've already rated this one. I don't think I've rated it, but I'm gonna say a 3.5 out of 5 as well. I mean, the dairy milk is dairy milk. It's really nice, but obviously it's in conflict slightly with the blueberry taste because the dairy milk has a bit of a taste to it itself, and sort of like in the chocolate. The chocolate always has a taste, of course, but the dairy milk one is quite a strong, specific taste. But nevertheless, it does work. But it's just let down by not enough blueberry taste, or the blueberry pieces are not very prominent and are a bit, not really there. Even though you can taste them, not visually there at all, really. And the white chocolate crispy ball things, yeah, there needs to be more of them as well. It's debatable as to whether it's the right ingredient to go with it. I think the idea was to have white chocolate in there, and Cadbury just didn't have white chocolate chunks. It just had white chocolate crispy balls, which is a limitation of the thing. I don't know why they did that. Cadbury weren't really doing white chocolate at the time. I think they have now since done the Cadbury's white. Or, if they were doing Cadbury's white at the time, it wasn't. I don't know, didn't have Cadbury's white chunks or whatever available for this configurator thing, from memory anyway. So yes, I think all in all, it's just unfortunately the people who made them have had to work with what they've been given, and they've not been given the correct ingredients or the correct guidance to create the bar. It could have been they went to Bourneville and whoever's Joe Blogs at Bourneville said, "Oh, here you go, I've mixed it up. What do you think?" And they probably, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be there. So say, "No, I think that's rubbish. You need get this sorted." They're privileged to be there. They've won a competition. They're not going to be telling them what to do. They're going to be assuming these people know what they're talking about, and I don't think they do really. So unfortunately, so Taylor and Co have gone there, been presented with the bar. Here's what you created. Have a taste, and they would have been just thrilled to see it. Have it and taste it and think, "Wow, this is amazing. My own bar's been made. I'm tasting it. Yeah, it tastes nice." I'm not going to say no. This is you've missed the whole point. You've not put enough white chocolate balls in here. There's not enough blueberry in here. What on earth are you doing? Get back and do it again. They're not going to do that, are they? So you know what I mean. So unfortunately, I think they've been let down really by the people at Cadbury here for creating these recipes, getting just the perfect ratios right. I think because it certainly doesn't taste like they have to me, and I think they were let down by the creative thing anyway. But of course, that's So it's a novelty, isn't it? Oh well, this is what we've got. Let's throw a few things together. You don't have white, but you didn't have a white chocolate, as I say, or whatever. So you don't have the perfect set of ingredients that you want. But clearly, Taylor in this case only picked 2 ingredients, and they're clearly there to emphasise those ingredients, like white chocolate and blueberry. And unfortunately, as I say, that's not been represented in the finished product. So there we go. Anyway, there we are. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that review, guys. Follow me on Twitter, like my videos as well, all the other things, Instagram, Patreon if you can. But leave a comment if you can as well. It's always great to hear from you, it really is. And let me know what you think of these bars and which is your favourite. And whether you prefer them to last year's ones as well. I think last year was a stronger set of bars, to be honest with you. They seem to be a bit more novel. The ingredients seem to work better. They're a bit more interesting. The ones this year don't seem to be as good, I don't think. But that's just my opinion, from memory anyway. Yeah, it's been a while since I tasted them, but yeah, don't seem to be quite as strong, I don't think. But there we go. But the blueberry one was definitely an interesting one. Just a shame it didn't work, or work as well as it should have done, and could have done. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. As I say, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. See ya.